or false? The writing process is actually made up of 5 separate pieces. That's true, and today I'm going to tell you about the very first one. Hi there, Jodi Brandon here of Jodi Brandon Editorial. I am a book editor, publishing coach, and book writing coach for creatives, bloggers, and solopreneurs who want to scale their business and use a book to do it. So today we're talking all about the writing process. We're breaking it down into the actual 5 stages that the writing process involves: pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. So a lot of times you hear people talk about writing, but they're really talking about just one little piece of that process. And today we're talking about the very first part, pre-writing. Pre-writing is critical. The reason it is so important is because it's your foundation. It's the foundation for the rest of the writing process. So just like you can't edit a blank page, you can't write what you don't know you're going to write. So pre-writing is really important. So we're going to talk about 3 things when it comes to pre-writing. The first one is your audience. You really need to narrow down who your ideal reader is. That will make the entire writing process so much easier. Just like you can't sell to everyone, you can't market to everyone, you're not writing for everyone. You have to figure out who it is your book is going to serve, and that will guide you throughout the writing process. Second thing is your structure, your table of contents. The way I always teach my clients to do this is to do a big brain dump. Start with a major brain dump of your whole topic and then sort of niche it down little by little. I actually have another video on my channel that goes into the brain dump in more depth, and so I'll link that below, as well as a blog post about that. So basically you're going to get to an outline, but a lot of creatives don't like the word outline. They don't like the idea of starting with an outline, but the brain dump process makes it easier, and then you basically end up with an outline anyway, but don't tell anyone. So that's the second thing. When you have that structure, that foundation in place, you know what you're going to write. So it's not a matter every single day of sitting down at the computer and wondering, oh, I don't know what to write today. You already know what you're going to write today because you did that work in the pre-writing phase to come up with your structure and your table of contents of, your chapters, your subheads within those chapters. That's what the brain dump essentially gives you. And then you just sort of pick a section that day. Some people write in order, some people don't. And you follow that plan. You follow your outline, and that's how you get your writing done. But you know exactly what you need to write when you do the brain dump process during the pre-writing phase. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is the research. Anything that's going to go into your book other than the words that you create in your own mind, whether that's interviewing past clients or present clients, if it's taking notes from, a couple books that are on the topic that you're writing about, anything that involves other people's words and other people's work, you want to have that done as much as possible before you sit down to write. And the reason for that is twofold. One, organizationally, it's just easier if you have all of that done and in a neat place where you can find it. What your system is not as important as having a system. So some of my clients use Trello, some use Asana, some use Evernote, some use Google Docs, just, a big document with all sorts of random notes in there. It doesn't matter if it makes sense for anybody but you. As long as it works for you and you can find what you need quickly and relatively easily, then that works. The other reason you want to have as much of this research done in advance is that researching uses a different part of your brain as creative writing does. Writing uses a different part of your brain than editing does. So these are separate functions, and a lot of people try to do them all at the same time. They say, well, I'm just going to research as I go. I'm going to start writing, and then I'll figure out where I need to add something, and then you end up stopping, and then you go down a rabbit hole of research if you can't find what you're looking for right away. Next thing you know, an hour's gone by, you have 2 sentences written that you had at the beginning of that hour. You still haven't found what you're looking for, and now you're frustrated. So getting your research done and organized in advance, then pairing that up with your brain dump outline will help you stay on track when it comes to writing, because you know what you're going to be writing, you know where to find what you need, And then you're able to just move through the drafting process, which is the second stage of the overall writing process, much, much easier. We will get into that drafting process in the next video, but until then, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, leave me a note in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions about how you do the pre-writing process. I would love to hear them. Until next time.